your life. Okay, so if I ask now, what
How can you run when you don't know the way of the Spirit?
Oak House Church brings to
How
you
can
the
you
word of life,
fly
which is able to
when you
build you
don't
up
know the
and offer
way
you an
of the
inheritance
wind?
among
The
all
power
those
and
that are
possibility
sanctified. Sit back and
in
listen, and may your
everything.
life become more like that of
In
Christ as you
obedience to
encounter His word.
Christ.
God bless you.
okay,
Um, Hi, morning.
good morning.
Okay, so I would like to start with an analogy normally. So normally, let's say I could go to an eye doctor and they tell you, okay, you have 20/20 vision, like you have perfect eyesight, right? I mean, you can see clearly, beautiful. So now, when I want to relate that to your personal life, what does vision mean in general? I like to see vision as that goal that lies ahead, something that that you've already perceived in your mind that you want to attain, somewhere that you're going to. I mean, you can't see it physically, at least not yet, but you have a mental picture in your mind, and you are looking at that mental picture, constantly reminding yourself where you're going. So that's what I see as vision.
Very good attempt. I like the fact that you bring out goal, right? That thing that you can mentally conceive, okay, and you set a goal around you that, okay, this is what it's going to be. Any other person? This table has been quiet, or this side rather. So Debbie, give somebody a mic here. It's not me, no, it's Debbie.
Good morning.
But
Like I said, vision is like having a purpose in life. Like your vision is where you are going to be the next 2 months, the next 3 months, the next 10 months.
okay, again, what you see. Okay, I think Joel to have something to say.
Vision is when the Holy Spirit vision is when the Holy Spirit helps you to see something on that was special through vision.
Okay, so Joel has taken it the spiritual angle. That's why you say you see a vision. All right. I mean, in a way, if you look at it, it's still something, that is not here now. It's not present, but you can see ahead. Okay. She's the one, no, not me. So you should obey her.
Okay, praise God. In my opinion, I would say Holy Spirit help me. Okay, to me, I think vision is vision is the prospect of you temporarily taking yourself out from now to the future and imagine the kind of life you want to be living then come back, try to put it in place and all that. That's what I think is vision.
I have a feeling that you're one of those people that asks for extra sheets. Okay. Thank you very much, Joel. That's also a very good attempt. So you take yourself out of the present, you look into the future, and you conceive of what that might be. Sure, could be tomorrow, it could be 2 months' time, it could be 3 months' time, it could be 10 years' time, it could be 20 years' time. All right. And there are people that they have been nursing some ambition, and it has taken them years. I'm sure every one of us, we know what is happening in the political scape now, getting ready for 2023, and one name that is on the lips of most people is Tinubu. Tinubu. That guy, I want to believe that, if everything is left to a fair playing ground, okay, is likely going to make, because it is a vision that he has carried years before, and he has been programming himself, for that vision. All the things that he has been doing, we're working towards that. I mean, we see other people that just sprang up, that in your mind you're like, who is this one again? Where is this one coming from? How do you think that, and that's what vision can do. Okay, so um, Pastor Moses, your work has started. So let's go to the next slide. All right. So just to add to what many of you have said, vision is the ability to see. Okay, the question is, what can you see? Right? Now, you sit down here, just like Israel said, taking yourself out of the current moment and seeing into the future. So when it comes to your future, what do you see? Where do you see yourself? Are you limited by your present situation, the condition under which you were born or brought up? So what can you see? Again, it's having sight. Okay? Vision is focus. There is no way you would say that you have a vision and you're not focused on it. There's a possibility that you are probably daydreaming. If you say you have a vision and there is no focus, then we say it's the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Now, every word that you see in that place is very, very important, and I want you to pay attention to it. So it says it's the ability to think about or plan. It's not just thinking. I'm sure if I asked everybody here, at some point, you have thought about the future, you have imagined yourself being somewhere, becoming something, and all that. And the truth is, when growing up, I'm sure we will have been asked this question, what do you want to become in future? And you will have said something. Okay? I remember I said I wanted to become a doctor. Well, it's just something that I said. Okay? I'm not a doctor. Now, maybe I will become a doctor later. But I was saying that in the sense of being a medical doctor. So everybody can say that this is what I want to become, this is what I want to become. So you can think about it and say, this is what I want to become. But is there a plan to become that doctor? Okay? So it says to plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Now, when you say you imagine something, what does it mean? Mentally think about it, right? So when you are mentally thinking about something, you go beyond your present, right? When you imagine, so I can stay here now and imagine myself in White House, even though I don't have flight tickets to go to the US at the moment, but I take myself through my imagination out of my present reality to see that future. So what that suggests is, in thinking about it, you eliminate your current obstacles. You don't let them, you know, stop you from seeing the picture of that future. Every one of us here, we are not in any way probably using up to 1% of our potentials. And so when you begin to visualize your future, there is that likelihood that you limit yourself within that 1% of your potential. All right? So you are not able to see beyond now your current realities. Okay, so everything, it says, with imagination or wisdom. So everything you see there, it's very, very important. Now, next slide. Okay. So the next thing is to, for vision to be effective, it must be written down in plain words. Every vision must have an appointment time. Otherwise, it will just be a wish. So I've just told you that I was asked some years ago, what do I want to become? And I said, a medical doctor. The only reason why I am a medical doctor, I am not a medical doctor, is because that was only a wish. It doesn't meet the criteria of what we call a vision. Why? Because I just said it. It wasn't like it was written down. I didn't set a time. There was also no plan around it. So I was moving through my life, went into secondary school, moving from TS to SS. It was at that point I realized that that thing that I said is not even going to. So for you to become a medical doctor, at least you have to study science. So from GS3 to SS1, I went into commercial. So that was where the vision died, or rather, the wish. Okay, because there was really no plan. Not. It was just a statement, and that's what many of us do. We just daydream. Then we say, "Oh, this is what it will look like," and whatever, and we don't do anything about it. Okay, you must see your past to learn from it, progress and grow. That's what is called hindsight. So when you're saying you're talking about vision, there is an element of hindsight, as in you looking at your past, all right? Because your past plays a role in your future. Whatever you are doing now, wherever you are now, is a function of the decisions that you have taken in the past. That's where you are today. So if you are also looking at the future, you must consider where you are coming from. Okay? Then it says you must see your present to take requisite action. Sacrifices. That's what is called your current sight. So where am I today? If you are looking into the future, you need to ask yourself, where am I today? What am I doing today? What do I have today? So if at this point now in my life I say, I still want to become a medical doctor. Do you know the impact of my current reality on that? So that means that at my age, I have to go back to school because hey, there is no shortcut to being a medical doctor, right? Without going through, without studying medicine, doing all the things that you have to do. So if that is the vision I have for myself, I have to consider my current reality. But if you look at her, example, she's in SS3. She's better positioned than I am to become a medical doctor because of her current reality. All right. So in thinking of your vision and all that, you also take into cognizance your current reality. Then you must see your future in order to know where you are going and what you must attract, create, or experience. And that's foresight. So hindsight, current sight, foresight, all of them together give you insight about the future. And you have to be real to yourself. You have to be authentic. Otherwise, you will just still be making a wish. Now, let's quickly, I just want to read for us from the Bible, and I'm sure you will know where I am going to. Habakkuk 2, I'll read from verse 1. It says, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. He says, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, so that whoever is reading it will run. That's the importance of goal, all right, when it comes to having a vision. Okay, now I want you to take a moment to think about your future. Project to maybe the next 5 years, right? What can you imagine about yourself? What do you see yourself doing? Where do you see yourself? I hope you are doing that. I need you to just project now into the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself? What can you see about yourself? What can you say about yourself? What are you doing? Where are you? Who are you in 5 years' time? See some people closing their eyes. I'm not asking you to go in the spirit. Okay? Now, can any... You can come back. Okay, do you want to tell us? What do you imagine? Eh? It's too big, right? You don't want to share. Okay, so now, let's... please, the next slide. I hope you can see. So what does this tell us? What can you see in this picture? Huh? There's what? Okay. There's no goalpost, right? So what's the implication of that? Eh? You can't score. Okay, good. You can't score. Eh? No result, right? No direction, right? So there is no post. You have 22 men running after one small object. Everybody just run. So how do you know? Wasted effort. Thank you very much. See, that is how it is. So for each and every one of us, when we don't have goals, that we have imagined our future and we've set goals around it. When we don't have goals, we are just like these people. We just be running up and down. At the end of the day, how do you keep scores? How do you know who is winning and who is not winning? How do you know that you are doing well and you're not doing well? So you just see people running, and they will be tired because there is no end point, okay, and they will stop. So the same thing with life. When you are running around without goals, you can't keep the score. You don't know when you're doing well. God sent you to this world. right? He gave you an assignment. You don't know the assignment. So you don't even know whether you are doing it or not. And you don't know if you are doing well or not. You have your finances, for example. How do you know that you are okay? What is the goal that you set for yourself? So let's say now that what you can say is you want to be financially independent. Okay. How do you know that you are now financially independent? At what time? For how long do they play the game of soccer? 90 minutes, right? And sometimes it could go into extra time. But at the end of the day, it will come to an end, right? Because a decision has to be made. Who is the winner? So, for your own goal, what is the end time? Otherwise, you're just running and cycling. You know what? Next slide, please. Life, right, is a series of goals. Let me explain. So, you've come into this world, right? At the end of the day, every one of us, we will leave this world, okay? And we're going to give account, right? So, how do you know whether you have done right or not when there are no goals that you set for yourself? Looking at the future, taking into cognizance your purpose, the reason why God has brought you into this world. So, how many of us have read the book Purpose Driven Life? Huh? Huh? Yes. Huh? Precious is not sure. Ah, please, ma. Hello, ma. Ma, Purpose Driven Life. Before the end of this program, everybody must read it. Hmm? Okay? No, I can send you the PDF version. But no, no, no. Don't be too comfortable with free things. Go and buy. Buy an hard copy. Make notes. Jot. Underline. Do everything. Buy. You understand? See, many of us will say we don't know our purpose, we don't know our purpose. What that book has done is to simplify this thing called purpose. When you read the book, you can't say again that you don't know your purpose in life. Because sometimes we'll make this called purpose like a mystery. That's something that's hidden somewhere. And you must search before you discover it. So people sometimes spend the rest of their life, okay, to discover purpose. And I know that pastor has even said this very many times here, that you are in church and you're saying you don't know your gifts, you don't know whatever. Just go and start somewhere and serve God. Because that's one of the purpose of God for your life. That's why He created you, to serve Him, to worship Him. So it is now you looking for, in whatever you do, if you're a lawyer, you are a doctor, accountant, or whatever, in those things that you do, how do you serve God? How do you worship God? How do you use them to worship God? That's when you are fulfilling purpose. So, you, when you have an understanding of your purpose, what do you see? So maybe now, drawn to, let's say you are drawn to kids. You know, you are gifted in that area, you have a passion for it and all that. So, what's the vision that you have about that? All the resources, the people God has placed around you, the knowledge you have, your experience, and all that. How do you now plan to use it? So, what can you see coming out of that in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? Then, what are the goals? So, you sit down, you set either your short term goal, medium term goal, long term goal, and all that. So, as you're walking in life towards achieving those goals, that's when you are living life. Otherwise, it will be like running on a football pitch without a goalpost. Okay? So, you can't exist, without having goals in life that you are working towards. So that's why vision is very, very important, because you have seen ahead of now. You have seen beyond your current reality, your current limitations. You've seen ahead of it. You now put goals in place to get you to that thing that you can see. So that goal will be, it could be short, it could be medium, it could be long, but you're working towards it. So what makes life enjoyable, what makes life worth living, is you working towards those goals that align with the vision, what you can see. Otherwise, just consider yourself running around on a football pitch, not even knowing what rule defines what you are doing. You just see everybody is running, then you join to your running. Yeah. So when you are tired, you go and sit down. And that's what life is. That's what gives you the challenge to want to wake up every morning and say, you know what, let's keep going, because there is something that I have seen, and that thing is what I'm working towards. So the question is, what can you see about yourself? You might be learning uh, what we call maybe carpentry. Okay, what can you see coming? You are a Christian. Maybe you just gave your life to Christ 2 weeks ago. What can you see beyond now? How do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing in the kingdom of God, doing for God? It's not about just saying that, okay, oh, I want to be a pastor. I want to be. That's not what we're talking about here. Because God appoints people. So you won't say, I set a vision for myself, I want to become a pastor. That's not what I'm saying. But in this case, how do you see yourself imparting that kingdom that you have been called into? You're probably, maybe, what's it called now? You're learning barbing. So do you just see that, okay, you learn maybe 1 year, then you go and look for one Paco store, patch here, patch here, patch here, by the side of the road, you buy clipper, buy a better pass my neighbor, and you start barbing. And whatever comes, you will begin to live on it. Or do you see yourself in maybe Ikeja City Mall with your store, maybe with your shop, doing all sorts of things and all that? It is what you can see. That's what makes the difference. when somebody said they had a vision that every home will have a personal computer, they felt he was mad, that he was crazy. Why? Because then what they call a computer, hmm, you will need maybe half of this all to set it up, right? Guess what? The data that it can store. How many of us know what is it called? Floppy disk. I'm sure some of you will not know it. Floppy, what's the largest whatever? Is it 2 MB or can't even remember? 5 MB. Okay? You see that thing, 5 MB, right? That computer, big enough, almost like half the size of this room, cannot store information as much as that floppy drive. So when somebody said that every home will have a personal computer, they felt it was crazy. That how? Because the people that were listening to him, then they were imagining, okay, how many people would have space like this to store a computer and all of that. But he had a different vision. And that's what drove him. He was Bill Gates. We all know him. So today, if we ask now, definitely every home, has one. Another person, I can't remember how they put it then, that those things that we used to, that we're doing on those computers and all that we'll be doing them on our palms. Are you not? On your phone. So those are people that imagine the future and they put plan in place. So there's no limit to what you can do in life. That's what it means. You are the only limitation of yourself. Because when we'll go into the process of, setting your goals now, so that you understand how to go about these things. But you have to see it first. What do you see yourself doing for God? In your profession, in your career, what do you see? You are a finance officer. Okay, do you even have a vision of that? Or you're just complacent with, okay, let's continue to work. After 2 years or after 5 years, they will promote me. I will go to maybe finance officer 2. I will look for another job. Or what do you see yourself becoming? Maybe a CFO of a conglomerate? Do you see yourself even becoming the CEO of a company because you understand finance? If you don't see that, right, there is no way that you will work towards it. Kenny, they call you mechanic, Abi. So you have the skill, you have the knowledge, you played in that area. Do you see yourself setting up, an auto mechanic workshop in Nigeria that has never existed before? Where whatever it is that, people will do about cars, you can do it there. Do you know it's possible? That's what having vision, okay, and putting plans behind it. That's what it does to people. All right. Let's go on, please. Moses, what's the time now? I hope we're doing well with time. So, yes, the next slide. I just want to quickly take us through a particular model of goal setting, and it's called the GROW model. Okay. Now, let me just take it from here. The G there, so GROW is an acronym. The G there stands for goal. It says it's the end point where you want to be. That's the goal. So you sat down, you've imagined that future in whatever area of your life, in whatever you're doing, okay? And so you set the end point that, okay, this is what it will become. So just like speaking about Kenny now. So maybe Kenny had sat down He's going around, he's seen the mechanic workshop that you have, and there he's seen the lapses and all that. And so he has started, he imagined the future. He has seen himself owning an auto mechanic workshop where all this, everything is automated. You don't have to bother about one mechanic not getting it right or whatever. So he has seen that vision. The end goal is this is what it will look like. So that vision is there. You can see it. It's mental. All right. He set the end point. Probably also has set the date by which that will have been achieved. Then you have the R, which is reality. That's your current reality, where you are now. So, Kenny, you will permit me, I'll use you as example. So right now, this is Kenny. We all know him. He's flying a bike, Abi. He doesn't even have a car. And he says he wants to run the best auto mechanic workshop in Nigeria. Now, what are his current reality? He doesn't even have 1 square meter of land, right? Where he will say that this is where he wants to put whatever. He doesn't have spanner. Maybe he does. Right? Because that one is cheap. Okay? You can get from here. So those are his current realities. But does that mean that he cannot achieve that vision? No. But you still have to consider your current reality. Then also the whole is your options and also your obstacles. All right? Of course, there will be obstacles. Definitely. We've identified some obstacles now already. Kenny, he does not have land, does not have the money, doesn't have anything. Those things are obstacles. All right? But again, despite those obstacles, there are options. Okay? Then you now have your W, which is your will, your wrap-ups, the way forward. Okay? So we will try and look at these things one by one within the next 30 minutes. Okay, so the first thing, next slide, please, Moses. So now, the first thing, which is the G, is the goal. That's the end point. Okay? And there are 3 things that I want to quickly consider. The wheel of life, visualize the 12 critical areas, and set your goals. Next slide, please, Moses. Okay, so I want us to do a quick exercise. You are going to audit yourself. Moses, please, can you hear me click on this? Okay. So, Moses, we will be working together a lot on this. But yeah, you see this diagram, right? The one you can see there. I don't know how clearly you can see it. It has 12 areas, okay? Starting from the one on the top, we have health and well-being, achievement, contentment, work or career, friendship, security, energy, self-esteem, fun and recreation, home and family, relationship, finance. These are 12 different areas of your life. Okay? Now, you see the way it is, right? So it seems balanced. That's at 100%. So, assuming that the best possible, the optimal level of everybody is 100%. So, career, the optimal level is 100, right? Where are you as far as your work career is concerned? Moses, please go to the left. So you can see that there is nothing here now. So let's try and, is it left or right? Yeah. Okay, so you can see this table, right? The part that is like red is your present reality. And the green one is optimal, which is 100. So let's So let's take it one by one. Is it possible we'll make the this side, the right side bigger, Moses? Huh? Okay, this is the best it can be, right? Okay, so this is what I want to do. I know you have your notes and all that. Yeah, great. So let's do it, right? You can just replicate this on your notes, okay? So let's start with friendship. Optimum level is 100. So let me try this time and use myself as an example. So as far as friendship is concerned, what is a quality of friends that I have? Do I have people that I can call today if I get into any trouble and they will feel obliged to get me out? The friends that I have today, can they help me to achieve my goal? Okay. So if I'm going to rate myself on friendship, please, Moses, under present reality, please help me put 50 there. Okay, good. Security. Security in whatever form you want to look at it, maybe well secured, you know, in terms of yourself, when you go out anywhere, you're not feeling like um, anyone, you're threatened by anyone. You feel that, okay, whatever it is that you want to do, you can, to a reasonable extent, you can do it. You feel safe wherever you are and all that. So security, please let me put 60 there. Then energy, okay, that's your power to even pursue whatever it is that you say you are doing. Are you the type that you wake up in the morning, by the time it's 10 a.m., you're already feeling sleepy? You don't have energy to carry on in the day. You don't feel motivated to do whatever you want to do. Okay, so let's say that is 55. Then self esteem. How do you see yourself? How do you carry yourself? Do you love yourself? Do you feel that you are somebody, you're worthy of something, that you can achieve whatever it is that you set your hands to do? Self-esteem is one of the things that make people not to achieve their goals because they just feel that they are not good enough. They have that thought that, oh, others can do this better, so I would rather just stay in my comfort zone and not step out. So let's say self-esteem, 40. Fun and creation, you don't even have time for that. You don't have time that you relax, either with brethren, with friends, or whatever. You calm down, you withdraw from all the hustles and bustles of the day and you take time for yourself. So let's say maybe 60, at least you have some fun. Then home and family. Do you even have time for your family or it's just work every time? Do you bond, okay, with your children and all that? So let's say that is 70. Relationship. How well do you relate with people? Okay? If you are in relationship, how would you say that that relationship is? If you're not married, for example, you're in a relationship, where is that relationship going to land you? In terms of colleagues that you work with, how is the relationship like? Okay, so let's say again that is 70. Okay, if anything happens today, do you have something to say, okay, I have this asset. Now, let me convert it to cash to be able to meet that financial obligation. How financially secured are you? What's your income like? So let's say 30. I'm just using this as an example. You will do your own, no? Okay, so now, thanks. So let's go back to the will. Let's see what it looks like. Can you see the will? So this is just what we've plotted. That blue part, that's the will of life of someone. Now imagine that this is you are going home now and you get out, you order Uber, and the car comes, and that is the shape of the tire. Would you enter? Why? Because it can't take you anywhere. Okay? So if you look at this is somebody's will of life, right? It means that this person can't go anywhere. Because it's not even like it's flat tire that you say you will just manage and push. This one even has no shape. So it can't go anywhere. And that's why I said life is a series of goals. So if you look at this now, right? The next thing you now want to do is, so if you take one of them, for example, work or career, and you now say, okay, in this area, this is where I am now, right? But this is where I want to get to. Okay? So what is the end goal? You take finance, maybe everything that you do all together at the end of the month, your inflow, your income is 100,000 naira. Okay? Don't forget, you want to have fun. Hmm? You have family to take care of. You want to give them good education. No, I think I'm going way above, right? But just you managing your life, okay? You want to get the best education. So you need to put money aside because you want to go to school. And everything that you do all together gives you maybe 30,000 naira at the end of the day, at the end of the month. Okay, but you know that will not get where you want to be. That vision that you have seen, where you want to go, the things that you need to do now. Okay, so you have a monthly income of 30,000 naira. So your goal in that area might be that by December 2020, this is 2022, right? By December 2022, that you want to have at least a monthly income of 100,000 naira. Hmm? That is the end goal. The time when it will happen is there. And how you will know that you have achieved that also is there, the 100,000 naira. So the question now is how? So how do I get to that 100,000 naira? So by the time you break it down into things that you have to do and you start to do it, that's what will make it possible that by December 2022, you are now earning 100,000 naira. But it's not just to say, by December 2022, I will have 100,000 naira. So help me God. No plan, nothing. It won't happen. You believe in miracle, right? The miracle that can happen in this case is that you have a plan. And you are following the plan. And by December 2022, your monthly income has grown to 100,000 naira. That is the miracle. But if you think that because you said it and you now fold your hands and it will happen, no, it's a joke. Okay. So you can just create your own and see your will. Then you will know whether you can even move at all or if you can run a life. You can lie to everybody. The last person you will lie to is yourself. Right? So when you are going through this exercise, just be truthful to yourself, and you will see your current status as far as vision, as far as goal is concerned. So you will now know, okay, which area do I want to focus on now? All right. Let's go back to the slide, please. Thank you, Moses. So it starts with now you taking it from where you are now and say, okay, what does it look like? Visualize it. You just started your career, okay? You are still probably an analyst. So you've seen yourself in the next 5 years as maybe a senior consultant or whatever. How will that happen? What would take you there? What do you have to do daily, weekly, monthly to get to that point? So you have to visualize it. These are just some of the benefits of visualization. I won't spend so much of time on that so that we can close as planned. All right. Next slide, please. So just some thoughts when it comes to you setting that goal, right? What is your goal topic area out of the 12? I told us the last time, and I've repeated it again today. Many of us are not disciplined enough. We're not committed, okay, to achieve our goals. So we will be deceiving ourselves if you take all the 12 areas and say you want to set goals for yourself there. It won't get done. So I emphasize you focusing on 2 or 3 areas to start with. When you master the act of goal setting and you are now disciplined enough, then you can begin to have more goals. I also did mention that there are some goals that when you achieve them, they will have, like a domino effect on other areas. And one of that is your spiritual. You should get it right. You can decide to take maybe your career. Now, the truth is, sometimes when you are beginning to look at your career goal and all that, the element of finance might come in. Okay, so you may not necessarily look at finance, but again, you can decide to pick your finance depending on whatever is important to you. So, what is your goal area? Now, the question is, what do you really want? What do you really, really want? This is where you are. Okay? So, maybe as far as friendship is concerned, you don't even have any. It's not like you don't have, but you don't keep friends. Okay? So people from maybe secondary school, from universities and all that, they are there, but you don't get in touch. Okay? So they say, who are your friends? There is nobody that you can say, thank God for brethren in Oak House Church. They will rescue you at that moment. But beyond that cycle, so you can say that, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to start getting in touch, with all my friends. Just reach out to them, say hello. You want to also make sure that they're doing fine, and you also want to look for opportunity to make sure that they've read the gospel and all that. It could be that that's what you want. Then the next thing is by when. This is very, very important. You must have a time by which this will have happened. And how important is this goal to you on a scale of 1 to 10? Now, this is very important. If a goal is not important to you, you will let it fall through. Don't forget, there will be obstacles along the way. So if that goal is not very, very important to you, there is every likelihood that you will drop it. And that's why, sometimes you wonder why people act in certain ways despite the information that you have given to them. Okay? You know, um, the 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 Yoruba church, I don't know if I should say this, right? It's like opening up. Is it the heart now or the head? Put the scripture. It's almost getting to that point. All right. You see that this thing, this is what is good for you. This is what will take you out of this and all that. The moment you finish that before whatever, they are doing something else. You understand? Because as far as they are concerned, it's not really that important to them. And it is, for God to just open their eyes so that they can see. So, how important did this go to you on a scale of 1 to 10? Would you say 7, 8, or 5, or 4? It's better you go for goals that are very high on that scale so that your energy and motivation will follow. Then, how will you achieve it? How will you achieve it? You don't just set goals without asking yourself that question. What won't happen if you don't achieve this goal? That's when you now begin to know the importance of your goal. So if, for example, you realize that you need to increase your income to a certain level by December 2022, if that does not happen, right, what will happen to you? So it means that your vision of going to the university or becoming this will not be accomplished. Then it means that person will likely be a mediocre because you have this, and that you're likely going to live with regret because you have seen the vision, you've seen the possibility, but you just did not do what is right to get there. That's when the person begins to live in regret. Okay? What will this goal do for you? All right? So when you are done, in a single sentence, summarize your answers with an affirmative statement. Next slide, please. So I have provided an example, and I'm going to use this to explain that when you are crafting your own. So this is under security and spirituality, one of the areas of the 12th will. So this is what I wrote here. It said today, right, is July 31st, 2022. Is that? Huh? No, it's not today's date. Now, that is the date by which that goal will have been achieved. So, in saying by when, right, you can see that date there, which means that whatever it is that I am going to be doing towards achieving that goal, by this date, I have already achieved it. And there is a reason for writing your goal this way. Let me finish, I will explain that. So today is July 31st, 2022. I now spend 150 minutes in prayer, worship, Bible study, and meditation every day, as I have been consistent in attending Tuesday Bible studies since it started, and in the same way I am always in church on Sundays. Stay with me, I will explain all these things. It might still look like Greek. So you now see 6 things that I have done that have helped me to achieve that goal. So I said, number 1, I have cleared my day of time wasters, such as social media, to be able to focus on my goal. 1. I have drawn up a prayer schedule that I adhere strictly to. 3. I have learned to say no to anything that will not make me observe my time to the Lord. I have commenced my training programs at the Bethel School of Discipleship. I have completed 2 books on the New Creation Realities by E.W. Kenyon. I have created my worship playlist to help me get in the flow with God. These are 6 things that I will do that will make me achieve that goal. So let me now go back to the goal so that you can understand why it is captured like this. Because you don't say that spirituality, for example, and you say your goal is, I want to spend 150 minutes with God every day, and you leave it at that. It's plain. There is something writing this goal does to you emotionally and mentally. So now the first thing is to put the day. Today is, okay. Don't forget that before you get to this point, you have that end goal and you have visualized it. In the process of visualizing, right, you use emotions. Feelings come with it. So you imagine yourself there, you see yourself there, you feel the joy, you feel the excitement of being there. So at that moment when you are visualizing, you are there, you are feeling it. That emotion, right, is a form of energy that can carry you through. So you imagine yourself at that end date, right, and you say what it is that has happened. Yes, I now spend one prayer, worship, Bible study, and meditation every day. Okay. You now see the next statement, as I have been consistent. Now, what are you doing? This is called association in psychology. So you are telling your mind that you have achieved this in the same way that you have achieved a particular goal in the past. So see what I wrote there. As I have been consistent in attending Tuesday Bible study. So in the indigenous church, since we started, I have not missed my Tuesday Bible study except one day. All right. And it was because I had to be somewhere. There is nothing else that has made me to. So that is an achievement, right? For like 2 years now. So that is an achievement. So what am I doing? I am associating this goal to that achievement so that my mind can believe that the same way I have been able to achieve that, I can also achieve this. So you look for things in your past. Maybe when you wrote your work, you cleared it once. That's an achievement. So whatever goal you are setting, you can attach it, you can associate it with it so that you believe. And as you say this as your affirmation every day, you are bringing that memory back. You are bringing that emotion back that this is possible. And that's the energy that you need to keep you going in achieving that goal. Okay? So you will have access to this so that you can work on your own, and maybe sometimes we can review together. So it is also important. I wrote 6 things that I have done to help me achieve the goal. So if you look at these 6 things that I have written, right, what will now happen is I will take them one by one. I will break them down into the activities that I have to do. And I will put timeline. And that's what I told us about accountability partner the other time. That's what my accountability partner will hold me responsible for. So you said, I have cleared my day of time wasters such as social media to be able to focus on my goal. The question is how? So how have I cleared myself? So is it that I'm going to delete WhatsApp from my phone, uninstall Facebook and Instagram, or whatever it is, okay? That is the time waster I have to deal with. So I break those things down. And by when? So my accountability partner will look at it. This time, this thing should have been done. Why has it not been done? And whatever consequence that is applied at that instance will be applied. Okay? So that is it. The next one, please. Just another example. Finance. Okay? It can be anything for you. But look at it. I'm sharing this so that you can learn from it. So look at this one. Say today is December 31st, 2023. Okay? So different dates of achieving those goals, right? Today is December 31st, 2023. I have created 4 sources of income, including, you see that I named them. So they are not 4 sources of income that are just in the here, right? Yeah, they are not abstract. Thanks. So I've created 4 sources of income, including coaching business, online training, car sales, and snail farming, with a minimum monthly income of 2.5 million. In the same way, our house was paid for without any loan. The same principle. But you can see the clarity. So you can't say that you want to achieve financial independence without knowing how that would happen and writing it down. So I said I've created four sources of income. So which means that the income from those whatever will make up that 2.5 million. So if you say that your current income, let's say, is 30,000 monthly and you want to get it to 100 by December 31st, how? What will you do? What will you sell? What skill would you acquire that will give you that money? What business do you have to start that will give you that money? Okay? So you see the different things there. I have purchased the online platform for hosting my courses. I've gone through the coaching program and attended 3. I have taken courses and acquired knowledge in snail farming and business. I have secured land for the snail. I have attended for 12 months. I have acquired 30 hours of coaching a year. So you see again those things, each of them, how will it happen? When? What do I need to do? So for example, I said I have acquired 30 hours of coaching in year 2022. How? I must have a calendar where I provision for those 30 hours such that I know that this time I am supposed to be coaching. That's one. Then two, who are the people that I'm going to coach that will give me these 30 hours? How do I get them? Number two. So you break it down detail. So by what will I need to do? Okay, maybe I need to advertise that I'm doing free coaching or whatever it is so that people can subscribe. I know that. I just have to detail everything. That level of clarity was present. Okay, let's move quickly. So the next thing is the reality. Wow. So you need to ask yourself again certain questions. What has stopped you so far? You are on 30,000, okay? What has kept you on 30,000 per month? Why have you not gone beyond 30,000? What have you tried to do to increase your income? What were your outcomes then? What can stop you? If you set your mind on moving ahead with this target of 100K, what can stop you? Then again, what will others say is about your obstacles that you've identified. Who is in the driving seat for this goal to be achieved? There is no other person other than you. So you need to understand that for this thing to be done, it is you and you alone. Is this goal? Does your goal align with your values and your beliefs? Okay. List your top 5 values. List your top 5 beliefs. There is something about your values and your beliefs. They call values the true north. Hmm? Because whatever it is that you do in life is guided by your values and your beliefs. So let me give you an example. If somebody is risk averse and you now say you want to start business, it will be difficult because you are going against your value, what you hold dear in your mind. So it will be a struggle. It's not that it's impossible, but it will be a struggle. So what you need to do is to make sure that you change your value. You start to see starting a business differently, from the way you've always seen it as, oh, this is risk. I will not get myself involved. So you need to start seeing it differently because if you have a belief system or your value does not align with that goal, it will naturally, it's just like you are forcing something that has been programmed to go in this direction. You are forcing it to go in this direction. It will always keep turning. That's value. So, what are your top 5 values, your top 5 beliefs? You must know this. If they are going to be an obstacle, then you need to start knowing, what do I do so that these things will not stop me. Okay? Is this goal realistic? You shouldn't deceive yourself. If you say you want to achieve, so you are currently on 30, right? And today, this is, which month are we now? May. You now say you want to get to a monthly income of 1 million by December. Is it realistic? You need to start. Yeah, that could be a long term or a medium term goal. But in the short term, which could be between now and the next 6 weeks, do something that you know is realistic. So when you get to 100K, right, by December, then you can say June next year, you want to move it to maybe 250, 300, or 500, as the case may be, before you now aspire to 1 million. But don't just wake up, you get excited and say from 30K you want to move it to 1 million. Except maybe you want to go and do Yahoo Yahoo. Right? But if you're going to do something legit, it has to be. It's a process. Okay? Then again, your outcome, write it, together. Now, there is an exercise, but we will not be able to do it because of time. But I will tell you, your failure and success model. Let me tell you something. Everybody here, you have a failure and success model. And this is what it means. This is the exercise, right? You can just do it. I want you to think of 2 achievements that you've had in your life. I mean, you can think back, maybe 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. 2 major achievements. Okay? Now, list 6 things that you did that led to that achievement. Right? That's on one part. When you're done with that, now think of 2 failures that you've had. Okay? And I want you also to list 6 things that led to the failure. At the end of the exercise, when you look at these things, you will see the pattern, right? When I do this exercise with people, sometimes you will see that, okay, where they were successful is because they had plans. They were disciplined enough to follow the plan. And where they were not successful, where they failed, there was no plan. So when you know that about yourself, that for me, my model when I'm going to be successful is to have a plan. How will you now say that you want to achieve something and you don't have a plan? It means that going by your model, if you don't have that plan, it is going to fail. It is not rocket science. It is not a spiritual thing. Because that's how you have always operated. So everybody has a success and failure model. And you need to understand it. So that when you set goal for yourself, you are conscious of your failure model. You know that if I go this route, I am not going to achieve this. So I better follow my success model for that to be achieved. Okay? So next slide, let's quickly go to options and obstacles. So this is what I just explained. That's the exercise. Just do it. I mean, if you do it and if you want feedback, maybe tomorrow when we come to church after service, you say, oh, this is what I've done. And I will tell you that, see, this is your failure model, this is your success model. So which means that whatever you want to do and you want to achieve, be conscious of your success model and make sure you take care of that in that goal. Next slide, please. Next. Okay, then we're talking about the grow model, right? So now O stands for options and obstacles. Okay. Um, there could be any obstacle on your way. So in the example about Kenny the other time, he wants to have Nigerian best auto mechanic workshop, but he does not have any land for now. He does not have money in his account to make that happen. But will that stop him? No. Okay. Now, part of what can stop him is procrastination. Okay. So, quick tips on how to overcome procrastination. Next slide, please. Brother Moses, have you gone to Egypt to deliver the children of Israel? Next slide. Okay. So these are just some tips on how to overcome procrastination. We talked about procrastination in the last class, which is pushing till later what you can or should do now. Okay, so set long, medium, and short-term measurable goals. Clearly define your goals and write them down with the requisite actions to achieve them. We've already spoken about this. Tie the achievement of your goal to your happiness, fulfillment, and peace of mind. Reward and celebrate yourself heavily for taking action immediately and achieving even the small goals. Create consequence reminders. What you won't achieve if you procrastinate. So, if you want to move your income from 30 to 100, what can you set as your consequence reminder? You will just see the thing pop up on your phone like a notification that you will be poor in life. That will remind you and say, I don't want to be poor in life. I better go back to this goal and go and work it. So that's a consequence reminder that if you don't achieve this, this is what will happen. So when you see that thing pop up on your phone like this because you have done something, then you know that you have to go and do it. Okay. Next slide, please. Creating options. So you need to ask yourself some basic questions when you're creating options too. So one, if nothing is impossible, what will you do? That's the starting point. Okay? If nothing is impossible, what will you do? What will you do if nothing is impossible? You will do everything. So if you pick an area, for example, let's say your finance or your career, nothing is impossible. What will I do? So that's your starting point in creating your options for yourself. Because truly, there is power in goal setting. It's like a spiritual force. Because when you set the goal and you put your mind on it, how many of us have seen the movie The Secret? The Secret. Okay, maybe you can call it a documentary. There is also the book, and there is the movie. I think I have the DVD. So if you want to, if you want to show it, I can borrow you the DVD. Yeah, The Secret. It's so when you say something is a secret, what they are talking about is the law of attraction. All right, and everybody, you must have at one time or the other witnessed this law of attraction, and really it works. For me, it is faith in action, what you see is what will come to you. So I know that maybe in some occasions you have a particular dress that you want to buy, you like, and all that. It might just be that you just see it once. And because your mind is now on it, that's when you begin to see other people maybe use the material or whatever. Then you now realize that, where has this thing been all this while? Why have I not been seeing it? It's because your mind is now conscious of that thing. And so because of that, you are attracting those things to yourself. You can now see. Okay? When it comes to, if you're applying this to goal setting, right? Of course, your goal has to be realistic. Okay? When you set your mind on that thing, right? There are certain things that will now start happening. Things that you had not even thought about, maybe people coming, giving you suggestions, this is what you can do and all that. You just realize that, this thing is working well. That's the law of attraction at work. So what is it? If nothing is impossible, what will you do? Okay? How can you influence others to support your goal? Of course, you need the support of others, so how can you influence them to support you? What will other people advise you to do towards achieving this goal? What else? What else? What else? Just keep asking. You are trying to create options. So you don't stay on, an idea comes and you believe that's the best thing. Ask yourself, probe further. What else? What else? There is this thing called, in fact, there's a book, right? What's the title again? But it has to do with 5 whys. So you say that, you say something, right? You want to move your income to, let's say, 100,000 naira by December 31st. You ask, why? Because I don't want to be poor. Why? Why don't you want to be poor? Because I can't just afford to want to do something and I don't have the resources to do it. Why? Okay? So you keep asking the why, until you find, the main reason why that thing needs to be done. Okay? Then, which options interest you the most? Which options are the easiest to achieve? All right? In whatever you are going to do, because quick wins too would help you in achieving your goal. So do things that you can quickly celebrate and give you that, uh, emotion that, yes, I'm achieving my goals gradually. Okay? Which options are easiest to achieve? Which option will deliver your goals the fastest? What option guarantees the best result for you? In a single sentence, summarize your answer with an affirmative statement. Next slide, please. Which is the last one, W, which is either your will, wrap up, or way forward. Please let me go to the next slide, so quickly we'll look at it. So that's now asking yourself, you've looked at goal, you've considered your reality, you've checked your options, obstacles, and all that. So what is the way forward? What is your first step towards achieving this goal? If you go back to Habakkuk 2 and you look at it, say, write the vision down and make it plain. Okay? So don't jump into saying you want to achieve any goal without first writing everything down. What is the goal? Okay? What are those 6 things that you will do? What are the activities under each that you have to do? And what is the timeline? Those should be the basic things. That should be your first step. Okay? You get your accountability partner, somebody that is not somebody that will smile at you. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. That person can't help you. All right? So, what and when are your next steps? On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being least motivated and 10 being most, how motivated are you towards achieving this goal? Are you really excited about it? Are you motivated? If you are not, maybe you need to see a therapist to deal with whatever it is that is demotivating you. Or maybe the goal is not that important to you, or probably you now need to set another goal for yourself. If your motivation level is lower than 7, what must you do to increase your motivation level to between 9 and 10? Okay. Are you willing to do these things to get you much more motivated? How will you sustain this motivation level until you achieve your goal? How would you stay consistent with these steps? What can distract you from this goal, and how do you stay focused? Okay, those are the things that you also need to deal with. Then again, your summary. Okay, so that's the grow model, right? Now, your goal is not complete without doing some work. Next, which is your goal dashboard and your affirmation statement. Next slide, please. Next one. So, what is a goal dashboard? It's a pictorial representation of your goal, right? That you can now put in a strategic location so that you see from time to time. So that that picture is now well formed in your heart, such that you have the motivation, you have the drive to work towards the goal. So you wake up every morning, for example, you see your goal dashboard. So this is just an example. The 12 different areas. So each of those pictures, the first one there is talking about health and wellness. As you can see, that picture, it has to do with food and all that. Healthy foods. So I see that picture. You remember that thing in the Bible? Jacob, where he used sticks and place it where those goats and whatever were feeding, so that they can see. All right, and the more they see, the more they become. Okay, that's also the essence of having a goal dashboard. So in whatever area you have set that goal and all that, you can do something like this. Just look for a nice picture that represents that goal. Okay, put them together, put the name under it, and place it where you see every day, so that that picture keeps registering in your mind that this is me, this is what I'm aspiring to do, and all that. And the last thing I'll talk about is your affirmation. Next slide, please. Your affirmation. So now your affirmation will be those statements put together concerning your goal that you say to yourself every time. You wake up in the morning, you say it. In the evening, you say it. In the daytime, you say it. Because what are you doing? You are programming yourself, okay, for that goal. This is an example. You will write yourself just whatever it is there. So it says, today is 31st December 2022. I now exercise at least 30 minutes, 4 days in a week. I am full of joy because I have realized all the goals I set for myself in the 12 aspects of the wheel of life for year 2020. I have mastered the art of being at peace with myself and God because I stay calm at the face of any challenge, knowing that it is under control and that it's a phase that will soon pass and work out for my good. I receive clear instruction from the Holy Spirit on what to do in each situation. I am now self-employed with my coaching business running, giving 40 hours of paid coaching per month. With my personal business model, online training, running, I now spend 150 minutes in prayer, worship, Bible study, and meditation every day, maintaining a father and son relationship with God. I have helped 10 people achieve their goals Without asking any fee from, without taking any fee from them, I have equally created four sources of income, including with a minimum monthly income of 2.5 million outside salary. Next slide. I have taken 2 days of work, continue. I'm created in the image of Most High God, and my body is well and healthy, being His temple. I have the energy and backing of God, and I have therefore achieved all that I set my mind to do in all spheres of life. I have the intellect and the ability of God, and I create value for people to live that life for themselves. And they have in turn paid me millions of naira for the values I help them create. I am goal focused, and I have all the resources that I need to achieve my goals. I am happy, smart, and confident. I receive divine direction to overcome any obstacle that comes the way of my goal. That's an example of an affirmation. So when you write your own, you say it to yourself every time. What you are doing is you are programming your mind to believe that this is you, to believe that this is true, to believe that this is achievable. So without that goal dashboard and also your affirmation statement, you have not completed the process. Okay, at this point, wow, we call it a day. Any question? Thank you for not asking question. Enjoy the rest of your day.